name is Jessica. I have a learning disability, and I went to college and also went to graduate school in New York, in New York City. That's a little bit about myself. So, do you guys have a good understanding of what a learning disability means? Okay, what does it mean?
Well, honestly, essentially means any disorder or disability that could be a hindrance or for hindrance in certain ways of learning, or possibly even make certain forms of learning impossible for a person.
Yeah, so just basically exactly what you said. So having something that's difficult for someone to learn. So I like to call them learning differences. I also have ADD. Do you guys know what ADD is? Does anyone?
Oh, attention deficit.
Mariah, when we do comment, honey.
I have it too. So
Okay.
let me
I
say.
think her right hand. That's okay?
Attention deficit disorder. In other words, Mariah was right.
Yes. Do you understand what that means exactly?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have your hand up or no? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Do you mind if I click on her really fast?
Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Mariah. It means that they have trouble focusing, like they just can't focus on what they need to do, or like attention deficit means that can't pay attention very well, which means
Yeah.
trouble focusing.
Exactly. So as I talk, like as you just said, if you guys have any questions, just raise your hand and we can kind of go from there. I just was wondering, can you guys let me know what your names are? Who wants to start off first? Let's start this way. It's okay.
My name is Hannah,
Hi, Hannah.
Okay.
and I'm twin sisters with Maddie.
Oh,
I'm Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
I'm Adrian.
Hi.
George.
Hi.
I'm Mom.
I'm Mariah.
Micah. Sarah.
And then I'm Jessica. So just a little bit about, does anyone here have a hard time listening in class or find it difficult?
Only doing social studies.
Only social studies. Only social studies. No. What about understanding sometimes what your teacher is saying? Sometimes?
Yes.
Sometimes. That could be hard. What about understanding what you read?
In the ways that the teachers ask us to actually understand, but otherwise it's a problem.
Yeah, so I often have a hard time understanding what I read. So I learned over time through my diagnosis that I actually am an auditory learner. So that means I learn better when I hear things rather than I read them. So oftentimes I have books on tape or someone else reads to me. So that's just a little bit about myself and that I learned that everyone learns differently. Some people learn better when they hear things, some people learn better when they read them themselves. Everyone's different, everyone's unique, but to make us all special. So did I ever try to hide my disability? When I was first diagnosed, I was very, 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 cannot emphasize, embarrassed about it because I didn't want to be different. I didn't want my friends to know, I didn't want my teachers to know, I didn't want anyone to know. So my worst fear was reading out loud. Does anyone not like to read out loud?
Only use the personal voice.
Yeah, I don't like to read out loud either. It
Feels
is weird.
weird.
Yeah, why does it feel weird when
Because you're because you pronounce the word wrong.
As for me, it's because I can read super fast when I'm regularly reading it, but when I'm doing it the other way, it's like suddenly it becomes it's like really long and hard.
Because when I'm reading in my head, I read really, really fast. But then when I read out loud, I read really fast. And then the teacher tells me, read it over, you read it too fast.
Yeah, so that often happens to me. So my biggest fear in school was reading out loud because I had difficulty pronouncing the words and I read very slowly. And so oftentimes when I would read out loud or just sometimes in general, people tend to stare at you. And so there was actually one time in my English class that I was reading so slowly and couldn't pronounce words correctly that the teacher actually stopped me from reading. And I heard some kids giggle in the back, so that was really embarrassing for me. That was something I really struggled with. And I didn't really want to read anymore. I didn't want anyone to really see my face, know my name, because was something that I was embarrassed about. So that was probably my biggest. And then also, after school, I would see someone, my reading specialist, and my reading specialist helped me learn how to read a little better, read slower, know how to pronounce certain words, because some words were hard to pronounce, and also just helped me boost up my confidence and give me also little tricks on how to pronounce words, which was pretty cool. But I didn't want to be different. I didn't want to feel like I was stupid, didn't want to feel like I was weird, so I didn't tell anyone. My parents knew, and that was about it. Do oftentimes any of you guys feel embarrassed during class or in school? Yeah, anyone else? Yeah? It can be scary, right? Especially people are looking, you're reading out loud or don't understand something.
Most of the time it's because like I say something in front of everyone that isn't the most clear, and then everyone's having trouble understanding, or like staring, and I'm like, what, and I'm like, it's I don't know how to further explain it. That's the most embarrassing. So.
Excuse me, but was that interrupting? I'm not so sure if that was interrupting, and I don't think we're supposed to be interrupting.
Sorry.
No offense. No offense.
No, it's fine. It's fine, Mariah.
It's okay, that was very polite, yeah. So it's the big thing to understand that everyone learns differently. And it's okay to be
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Sometimes sometimes when after I say something, I think, was that something that would embarrass me? What does that person think of me now?
Mm-hmm.
Or
So in other words, you're already ready for middle school.
what about when
Okay, it's okay, take a deep breath.
or when I don't, mostly it's in math, I do not understand a thing the teacher says, so I ask for help, and everyone else seems to perfectly understand it, and when the teacher explains it to me, it just makes even less sense, and it's just super,
Yeah, so sometimes that's hard. So some people are better in other classes, like English, social studies, math, science. Oh, what's up?
Math, I read I like read the directions ahead, and I understand it already. So then when the teacher says it in a way that makes no sense whatsoever,
you get in
I
trouble for
already know it.
saying that it's wrong. Is that it?
it's not that. It's just you feel you know it, and then when the teacher's explaining it, you feel like it makes no sense.
Exactly. It feels kind of like your mind's going crazy.
That's not the way you want to be.
Yes, it feels like sometimes your mind is going in circles. You read it one way, the teacher's saying it another way, and you just don't understand where to go, right? So that kind of leads exactly to my next thing. So did I feel like I had to work harder than other students? Yes, sometimes I did because, yeah, it's hard, right? Because you feel like you're learning a lot slower than other people, that you have to spend extra time reading it over again, or maybe even asking the teacher for help. So that was really hard for me to be able to really accept and really learn that it's okay that I have to reread something once or twice to make sure I actually understand what the question is saying. Do you guys know what accommodations are? Okay, so accommodations are different tools that one needs to help them to understand things a little bit better. So for me, my accommodations I got was extra time on tests, and also since I learn better when I hear things, I got a reader. So that means someone that would read tests out loud to me because it helps me understand better. So this is a scary thing to think about, but oftentimes people ask, was it okay to ask for your accommodations? Is it okay to say, excuse me, teacher, I need to take my extra time? Yes, it's very, very, very okay. Just like asking a question, getting clarification on something. It's okay because the teacher knows the best way for you to learn, and if by saying I need extra time on a test means that it'll help you to understand things a little bit better. Do you have a question?
Unless they think you're lying, or they don't, or it's a 7 they don't understand or something, and they
That's the worst.
yeah. For instance, I have accommodations on a certain thing, mostly extra time for tests and some stuff
Yeah.
like that, but and some stuff along with that, and some breaks, occasional minutes off from the test. I remember that one time, I believe it was in like third or fourth grade. I believe there was a sub, and they thought they thought that I was just trying to get away from doing any work, and
Yeah,
it was
sometimes-
not a good day, to sum it up.
Yeah, sometimes it can be hard because people don't understand. Some people don't understand that people learn differently, which is something that I didn't actually really understand until I was a lot older, actually in high school. So the fact that kind of understanding this or hearing this now can be helpful, because I thought everyone learned the same way. I thought that everyone was good at math, everyone was good at English, social studies, everyone, could read correctly, everyone could figure out a math problem, but that's not the case, right? We all learn differently, which is why everyone around us has different jobs, because that means one person is a good teacher, someone else might be a good salesperson, right? So everyone has different jobs, everyone learns differently, so it kind of goes up in the air a little bit. Is there anything that you guys like to enjoy doing? Just want to go in a circle?
Okay.
I like to ride my bike, go to my friend's house, and I like sledding.
Sledding is fun.
I
And
like-
with the snow day too, did you go
I
sledding?
like reading and petting my dog.
You like reading for your dog?
Yeah,
Reading
Jelly-
and petting my dog.
Oh,
Jelly
got you.
is cute.
That's the name of my dog.
Cute. I like reading. I like going to my friend's house.
What do you like to do?
I like building Legos and playing with my dog.
Like Legos and reading.
Because they're fun.
I like playing Minecraft, reading, and playing soccer.
I like playing soccer.
I like writing story ideas.
Cool.
I like reading and playing soccer.
See, so a lot of us have a lot of things that are similar. And a lot of us also have some things that are different. So that means that we all are different, exactly. So that means we all possibly learn differently. That means some of us are gonna go into different job careers because we all specialize in something different. Legos, reading, being with animals, going over friends' houses, everything's very different. So for me, I am not good at reading, so I picked something that I do that I don't read. So right now, I work with students with disabilities at a school. I don't read to them, but I work one-on-one with them. So I just help them out, and that's exciting for me because I like to talk a lot, which is fun for me. But not everyone likes to talk, so some people aren't gonna go into a job where they talk. Because if you don't like to do what you have to do, then why go in there? So then just a little bit, over time, it just kept understanding that Canvas has more than just everyone learns differently. So once I started asking for my accommodations, then my teachers actually started understanding me a little bit better and building a relationship. Do you often find yourself sometimes having, like talking to your teachers a lot, asking questions, sometimes maybe one-on-one, asking your teachers questions one-on-one without anyone else around? No, not really?
How can you even get to do that?
Well, has anyone experienced that before? Yeah, you've experienced it before? How is that?
But it feels weird to me.
Feels weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, feels a little different, right? Feels a little different because are you used to just asking in class
Yeah.
when everyone else is asking in class? Do you think that sometimes it's helpful?
No.
No, not asking them. Yeah, so that's something that is different, right? But it's a good thing that you're trying it out, because if you didn't try it out, then you wouldn't know if it works or if it felt weird. But sometimes just asking teacher or asking someone a question outside as one-on-one can be a little more helpful, because it can help you if you learn better just talking one-on-one with someone and just explaining what you don't understand by reading something in math or getting tutors or different things like that. So the biggest thing that overall is just that I've had to overcome is just the embarrassment of saying I'm different. And that's hard, especially that fact that I learn differently. That's not something that people talk about. That's not something that you want to share with yourself, right? You're not going to say, hi, I'm Jessica, and I have a learning disability.
Not exactly the best conversational subject.
Not exactly the good conversation starter.
Exactly, right?
No.
Because what do you think the person's going to say after you say that?
Okay. Learning is like,
They'll just walk away. Like sometimes I see people staring at me with this like creepy stare, and I think,
okay, that's
and I think, well, if you're gonna stare at me, why don't you just go over and talk? Don't just like stare and walk away. I know it's like it feels.
Oh, really? Can you do this? Can you do
Oh, I
that?
thought let's see if she's finished talking. Okay. No.
What,
So,
what they might say, just guessing, they might say something like, oh, really? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Try that, try that. Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so it's a hard conversation starter. Because what are you going to say, right?
Yeah.
Can I play with Legos? Can I read? Can I pet your dog, right? You're going to want to say something like that, right? Not say, hi, this guy have a learning disability. But I like to change the word disability with difference. Because we all learn differently, right? It's not a disability. It's just something that's different about ourselves. It's just something that I would say is special. Because I have a better understanding about how I learn by knowing these things about myself. I have a better understanding to know that I'm a little different than other people. That it may take me more than one time to read something. But some other people might just think that I should just read it once and I'll understand it, rather than knowing yourself that you have to maybe read something 2 or 3 times or try out a math problem 2 or 3 times to understand and actually get the right equation correctly. But knowing that that's okay, that other people are out there like you, can be kind of exciting to know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's like we say, it's kind of reassuring, right? To know that you're not alone. And you want to know a crazy thing? Some of the most successful people in the world have learning disabilities, have disabilities. And do you know why they're so successful?
Why? Because they have it.
Do you,
Because they have extra help.
because they tried anyway.
And they have when
Bingo.
they come really disciplined.
yeah.
Like when I do schoolwork, everyone just turns it in quickly and then goes and talks to their friends. But I read over my work like a million times. In 4th grade, I used to complain that it always took me forever to finish my work, my schoolwork.
Yeah. So you guys are all right. The reason they're successful is because they tried, and also that they know that they can excel in one thing. They're really good at one thing. They may not be good at something else, but they know that they're really good at one thing, and they kept going for it. They kept trying. They kept trying to say, I know I can make this work. I know I can make it work. So some people may not be able to be good at, like we said, talking, reading. Some people are better reading. Some people are better at building things. And they just kept trying to get better at it and focusing on the strength they have, which got them to how successful they are. So some of the most successful people in the world can't even hold a conversation.
The person who has the world record for speed cubing with the Rubik's Cube has autism.
And he would have known that, right? That's not something that they're gonna share with everyone, right? So there's a lot of, people don't, why do you think people don't share things like that?
Because they're embarrassed or they're afraid someone will treat them differently.
Mm-hmm. I saw someone else have their hands up.
But she does, and so I'm like,
Okay, but who wants to go first?
Yeah, we can go first. Wait, did she have her hand up?
Yeah,
And yeah, she can go first.
So it's like I was like one time I heard people people in my class talking about being different, and they were like, I'm special, and they were like mocking it. It was sort of like I don't really know how to explain it. But then I thought, I'm never gonna tell them.
Like pretending, like mocking them and acting like anyone who was like that was a retard or something. You
I
mean
don't like the word retard.
I was gonna say, yeah.
acting like someone was that concept?
Someone
It's a
who is
concept,
different.
not a
It's okay.
thing.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say they wouldn't share it because they would feel embarrassed if they would have no friends left. All their friends would desert them if anyone would have them. Hannah, that's not true.
So the big thing is you guys all said the word embarrassed. So that is a big thing. Everyone feels embarrassed about it. I felt embarrassed about my whole life. It didn't take me till I was a lot older, so I was 16, that I realized that it's okay to be embarrassed, because some of us do get embarrassed with different things. Think about it not just with education, but also with sports. Right? Sometimes if you're playing soccer and you miss a goal, does anyone get, do our soccer players here ever get embarrassed if they miss a goal or miss a kick?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I played
Hannah's
soccer.
friends were really nice to her about that.
Well, it's okay, but I got embarrassed when I couldn't make it. I was goalie, and if I missed a save, it was embarrassing.
I was going.
Even though it's the entire team's fault also because they had to get through everyone before it got to the goalie.
And the key thing there is you have support.
Yeah.
Also with learning, you have support. So yes, it can be very, very embarrassing. But the fact I know for myself and for you guys is that we have support out there. We just don't really know about it. So some of the people that were supportive for me is I had my learning specialist, the lady I saw that helped me to pronounce words, read slower. I had also my teachers who helped me realize that if I took my accommodations and if I took extra time, my grades would start to improve, which they did. And when my grades improved, how do you think I felt?
Good.
Good?
Like confident.
Felt confident, been on top of the world. I felt like I could do anything. I felt like I could do anything, which was a great feeling, right? So there's a lot of different people out there that are supporting you. It's just, we just don't realize it because we don't know what to look for. So what do you think are some ways that we might know if someone's like supporting us or someone's trying to help us? Do you guys have any ideas? If you don't, it's okay.
Boys, do
I
you want
forgot
to
what I
say
was gonna say, sorry.
You guys don't
The
have
boys
to.
have
I'm
been
just,
really quiet. Would you like to put a word in anywhere?
I forgot what I was gonna say, sorry about raising my hand.
If other people, like, if you know that someone's on your side, if they, like, try helping you with stuff, and I don't know what the word is. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
and when they're on their side, when they're helping out, when they're kind of holding your hand a little bit, but not really actually holding your hand, right? They're giving you, I like to say with my students, air high fives, right?
Yeah.
An air high five. They're giving you a high five from across the room. What are you gonna say, buddy?
Maybe someone's supporting you by like helping you and not getting frustrated if you mess up.
Exactly. And do you see people like that in your lives?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. It's a yes or no, right? I mean, it's a maybe, not all the time, right? Different things, but just remember, there are people out there that are helping you. Do want to give you the air high five from across the room, but maybe can't do it because there's other students in the room or there's just a lot going on. They're teaching, but inside their head, they're giving you an air high five. So just always remember that there are people there to help. Like you have your teachers that are there that if you ask them a question, it could be hard sometimes asking them, like you were saying earlier. You asked your teacher one-on-one once a question, right? You said it was kind of awkward, kind of weird, but maybe try that sometime. It might work for some people, it might work for others. But how can we get anywhere if we don't try, right?
Yeah.
How can we become the most successful person in the world if we don't try? How can we solve a Rubik's Cube if we don't try?
Try.
Right.
Right? Like, how can I really read something if I don't try to sound out the words and try to do what my specialist taught me to do, right? If I didn't try, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have gone to graduate school. I didn't even think I could do that. When I was young and didn't really fully understand what a learning disability meant, and I just thought that meant I'm stupid, I didn't try for a very long time. Then once I started listening to what teachers were saying, helping them push me to take an extra time, my grades were improving. I felt I was like on top of the world. I felt like I could be that billionaire someday solving the Rubik's Cube or building a mansion for someone, writing a book. But if I need to try, it all starts with trying. Right? Okay.
The secret to getting ahead is getting started.
Exactly. It's exactly. You gotta get started in some way. Some it's gonna be easy, and that's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult a lot of the times. Okay, I'm gonna guys make.
Neither. Neither.
What do you guys think? So you see.
Didn't you say you have to try?
Exactly, right? So that's something I'm embarrassed about. That's still something I'm trying to work on. So even as you get older, you're still working on stuff. You're never gonna not stop working. You're never gonna not stop trying. But the key thing that I do is I need to see, it's a little scary that I see a book that's 200 pages, but I'm gonna read the back of it to see if it's actually something that I wanna read.
And it
And if
might
I
just be a
do-
compilation of stories.
Exactly. Well, it could be, you never know, right? But if you just take a look at it and see the pages, that could be scary. But if I actually sit and look at the back of it and read it for a little bit, then hey, this sounds interesting, let me actually try to read it. And you never know. You might really, really enjoy what you're doing and then you can speed right through it. But you may never know, right? Unless you try and unless you see this is an embarrassment, this is something I'm scared of. But
But
how
I'll
do I
try.
get over it? But you'll try, right?
Yeah.
But how do I get over it? How do I get over that
By trying.
embarrassment? By trying, but also remembering that there are people out there, like your teachers, specialists, I don't know if you guys see any tutors that are there to help you. It can be scary sometimes. I was scared of some of my teachers, no offense. You
None
know,
taken.
but I mean, like, teachers are scary. Like, I work with students and they can be scary, right? I mean,
Am I scary, guys?
Not really. No.
you don't have, you can tell the truth in here. She can hold her ears, you know, if you guys really wanna like tell me the truth. You know, she's not listening, okay? You know? But I mean,
At the beginning of the year, I was scared of my teacher, not anymore.
yeah. I mean, I was very much scared of my English teacher because I didn't want her to pick on me to read out loud. That's something scary. That's something does anyone, when anyone gets picked on in class to answer a question, does anyone automatically stare at their desk or like look around the classroom?
Or say
Don't
that.
talk.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh,
write.
let's not
I'm
all
sorry.
talk at
Or
once.
say, I'm sorry, I forgot the answer.
You're sorry, you forgot the answer.
I just don't answer them, like,
Hannah, sit up, honey.
until they call somebody else.
You pretend
I
to call
forgot
someone
what I was
else.
gonna say. Is what I usually say.
Does anyone else say make an excuse or?
That doesn't happen in high
Calls on
school.
people
My
who are
students are like,
raising
whoops,
their
I
hand.
wasn't
don't
paying
know the
attention.
answer, I won't raise
My high school kids, they don't care.
Yeah, so, you know, what I would do if I saw the teacher ask a question, or then if no one raised their hand to answer it, then they'd pick on
Hannah,
a student,
Off the
I would
carpet.
automatically just look down at my desk
off the
because I didn't want the teacher to pick on me.
You know, I remember Mr. Siegel saying once that kids looking down and not paying, kids looking down are like a sign, there's like a sign above their heads that says call on them because they're not paying attention.
Exactly, and
That's what I
that's,
should do if I want the teacher to call me. I should be like,
well, one thing that I learned though is I would do that in my English class, but then as I learned and once I started to use my accommodations and I started to talk to my English teacher, she understood why I did that. She understood that, okay, you don't like reading out loud, so I'm not gonna pick on you to read out loud. But if I never talked to my teacher and asked for a little help, or if I never just talked to my teacher and said, this is really scary for me to say, but I don't like reading out loud because it's hard for me, now she knows, and now she's not gonna pick on me to read.
Yeah.
In class. But I had to take that step, that really, really, really scary step to the next level. Because it's scary to say something like that. To say something, I don't understand this math problem, or math class is really hard for me, so can you not pick on me when there's a hard problem in math, and, you know, I am trying my best, but can you just maybe help me one-on-one, or, you know, just know that I am trying, but it's taking me a little bit hard, so please don't call on me. But we have to make that first step of speaking
Trying.
up, right? Because speaking up can be the hardest thing. Because who likes to talk about themselves? Who likes to talk about something they're not good at? Does anyone like to talk about things they're not good at? No. I mean, I for sure don't. Does anyone here like to? No.
Only if it's like hilarious, something weird.
Yeah, like, I
still can't
cannot
believe it.
dance. I cannot dance.
Yeah,
like,
but-
sometimes I joke about me not
Yeah.
being able to dance at all. That like you wouldn't want to see me.
But still,
I
you know.
joke about myself. So
Yeah, but it's hard, especially with like school and everything. You're not gonna want to bring up something you're not good at.
Yeah.
But just knowing the fact that your teachers probably have heard that before, that you're not the first person that has said that to them, just remember that. You're probably not the first person that they've heard that from. You're not the first person, but they see that you're, by going up and talking to them, they see you're trying. And actually, I'll tell you a little story that happened to me in college. Is I actually advocated for myself. So I actually went and told my professor, I'm having a hard time understanding, I'm having a hard time with, I wasn't doing well with my grades on tests. So he actually said, do you want, for the next exam, do you want to write a paper or take the test? And I had better writing. So I said, I'll write the paper instead of taking the test. But if I didn't talk to him, do you think that I would have gotten that?
No.
Now, everyone's different. This was in college, not in elementary school, right? But he now knew that I am trying in class.
Wait, write the paper? What?
So instead of taking an exam, like a test,
Yeah.
I wrote a paper. I typed up a paper about something I was interested in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do better with writing rather than taking tests, because it gets me really, really nervous. So, and my teacher saw that I was actually trying, so that I wasn't just not studying, that I'm actually trying and actually doing things. What's up?
What's your job?
What's my job? Well, I actually have 2 jobs.
Wow.
So I work at a school for kids with autism, so I work at a school with kids with other disorders. I work one-on-one with them, high school students, and then I also work with individuals, high schoolers with learning disabilities, and I help them find the right college for them. So by getting to know them, I help them look at schools that have good programs, and I also, so technically I have 3 jobs, I also help students with learning disabilities, high schoolers, with organization, with coaching, with helping them to outline papers, helping them learn how to study, helping them learn, they're not good at reading, let me give you some different tricks, let me give you some tools on how to read better, how to pace yourself, so how to go slower but still understand. If you don't understand things, how to maybe mark it, and then go back in our next session, I'll see that and I'll explain to them, and we'll go through on what didn't you understand about this paragraph or this sentence, and look, was it because it was too long? Was it because you saw it was too long and you got nervous? Looking at your calendar, because sometimes a lot of students have a hard time getting all their homework done because they see it so much. Where do I go? This is so scary, just like the book, right? There's so many pages, I don't want to read it. But if you just sit down for a minute, take a deep breath and say, let me look at everything. We make a calendar and we schedule out times to do homework, but we put also in times to take breaks, right? Time to play soccer, time to read, time to play with Legos, time to play with my animals, time to pet my dog, time to wake up,
time to play Minecraft.
time to play Minecraft, yeah, exactly. So I help show them that we can really only do homework for probably about an hour. Then we need to take at least a 15-minute break. Because our mind, after an hour of doing homework, what does your mind feel like?
I just wanna go to bed.
My mind's dead.
Exactly, right? Your mind feels, ugh, like it's not gonna go anywhere. So I always say after an hour of doing homework, take a little break, do the splits, touch your toes, do some jumping jacks, take a snack, go for a walk, go play Minecraft, go read, go play
Good idea.
whatever you want.
I'll play
But
Minecraft too. Thanks.
the hard thing is to go back into doing your work. So I help the students learn and find tools and ways to go back into doing their homework. Because that could be the biggest struggle. So I also help students with that, doing that, help them with organization. So, questions, guys?
Not really, no, I guess not.
Could be about anything. Could be about something I talked about, it could be about something random.
You got one over here.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't think my mom would let me play Minecraft in one of the breaks if my homework isn't done. Because it would be hard to go back to
Then
doing my
read a
homework.
book or something.
But one time I read a book during the breaks. I thought that I had done enough for one day, and I told my mom, and she said that I could take a small break and then go back doing it. And I thought, hey, good idea.
And did it work?
And then I read my book, and it did work. My mind wasn't so dead after I
Yeah,
read my book.
breaks are good.
See? And what did you learn about yourself? That breaks. Exactly. So there, you learned something about yourself that you probably didn't know, right? And you did that by trying something new. So you put yourself outside of it to say your comfort zone, right? You put yourself outside of something that you normally wouldn't do. You took that big step into saying, okay, I'll listen to what you're saying. I'll try reading, and I'll play Minecraft.
Yeah.
So just remember how big of a step you took up that ladder. 'Cause that can be hard, especially if it's to someone telling you that you might not really want to listen to.
Like your teacher.
Like your teacher, like your friends, like your parents, you know, who
I
knows?
listen to my
I'm just
teacher.
kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Boys, do you have any comments? How did you guys learn better?
Sometimes like setting a schedule, like I'll do this and this time.
That helps me too.
Mhm.
Ilan, how about you, honey? What makes you do your learning best? How do you learn best?
I usually sit on the couch and do my homework.
Are you like my son Lucas, who insists that while he's watching TV and listening to music in his ears, he can still do his homework?
I wish I could do that.
Oh wow.
Some people, it's true, it's a true fact. Some people can get that done.
Just not very
I
well.
don't see how.
I don't see how, but hey, if they can do it, great to them. I wish I could too.
Simple. Data systems do it very well.
I mean, usually
There's some possibility, too much multitasking can do
So
that.
I do the hard,
Which is